Nate Snare, and everybody else. All of you guys tuning in on this Tuesday. We appreciate you guys. Allie and Dalen in here as well. As Delaska throw it to the left, and that one is tipped away and intercepted. Tipped it and then jumped under it. Miles Shakur coming up with the big pick for the Aggie defense. Somebody clip that and post it, please.
Unbelievable. He didn't catch it clean. If he does, it's a pick six. But Shakur would not be denied. Great content.
Good evening, CFSL world. This is Cole Mantell once again for episode 26 of the Cole Mantell Show. We got 3 guests. It's been a while. They've all been on the show before, but happy to have them all back. We'll just go in order that I have it written down. Gene Pettijohn, Georgia AD, Daniel Gunn, UNC AD, and then Dominic, also known as Umbreon, Untamed. Umbreon? How do you pronounce it? I don't remember how to pronounce it.
Umbreon.
Umbreon. All right. Well, how you doing, Dom?
Happy to be here, man. Third time on the show. Happy to be here again.
Yeah, it's like I said, been a while for all of you guys, so we'll raise a drink to that. And I think Dom, you were a last minute jump on the show, so happy to have you. Thanks for filling in.
Okay. That's what the sheet's for, right?
You know what the fans want, right? At least VT fans. We were talking about that before the show. They wanted you on. Pretty bad, I guess. Daniel Gunn. It has been a while. The North Carolina AD. I looked this up for a different article pretty recently. You've been an AD since season 15, which was, I believe, also the first season I was an AD. Just for that in context, that's 9 seasons. I think right now you are near the top 5 in terms of tenure. Is that correct for ADs?
That sounds right. It seems like yesterday I was the new kid on the block, but yeah, I guess I think this is season 8 because Beef. I started with Beef there, and now this is Price's senior year.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be 8 seasons in. It's been quite the ride.
Well, yeah, we'll get to him and your team in a bit. And then Gene Pettijohn, the Georgia AD, had a great game this week against Auburn. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Glad to be on the show.
Got your Georgia hat. We got an Auburn hat. And we got a UNC, not a UNC hat, just a North Carolina state flag hat. Rated top 25% of state flags, is my understanding. Daniel?
I think it's number 1.
Who thinks? I like New Mexico's flag. I mean, we're not going to get out too off track. I like New Mexico's.
As somebody who went to high school in North Carolina, I kind of have to agree the North Carolina flag is pretty top tier.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know what Mike would think. I think Mike would pick Texas.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Florida's
They kind
flag
of copied our flag, but it's all right.
Well, or yeah, okay. I'm not going to get into.
I see
I
he's
believe
not
one.
wrong.
I believe one of us was an original 13 colony, so I don't think. we
Yeah, the other one
copied them.
was, and I hate to defend Texas here, but the other one was an independent country for a decade. I don't know if it's
so
the same.
It wasn't a state flag at that point.
Yeah, but I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think it's quite as related. I have to look it up, but we'll get right into it before I get way too off tangent here. But I will shout out New Mexico's flag. That's my favorite. I saw a license plate from it, and that's my pick. All right. I'm just going to go through the week here. We had some great games, some more upsets as usual, it seems. After last week, we talked about the upsets. This week, you know, I'm not going to call our game an upset, but we took down OSU. Virginia Tech, I think this is the headliner. Virginia Tech over Florida State, 42-38. Really great win for the Hokies. I'm just going to go around the horn, and I will let you guys talk about your games as well. I know, like, UNC had a big win. Auburn, you guys had a close win against Georgia. So the win, I guess, talk about VT and the continuing upsets. I'll start with you, Dom, and then you can talk about your game, too, because I know you want to talk about it.
I was like, you're starting off with my game. I mean, you might as well throw it to me first. No, honestly, that game was absolutely about as intense as we expected going into the game. Top 5 versus 6, you know that it's not going to be an easy gimme game. St. Major threw a couple of untimely picks that, really, you can't afford to have your quarterbacks throwing picks in the league. But unfortunately, we've seen it before. The shortcomings with Oklahoma, but we've righted the ships. We got everything put together that we needed to be able to pull off the upset on the road at Florida State. And going into, starting now really the heart of ACC play with how stacked the ACC as a conference. Shout out to North Carolina. Shout out to Miami. Yeah, no, it's absolutely a dogfight out here. So anytime you can get a top 5 win on the road, being the underdog, it's kind of a nice feeling. You're always going to take that regardless.
Yeah, we had that last year against number 1 USC on the road. I completely, when I did that intro for you, forgot that you are MVT now. I've always imagined you at Auburn. I was like, wait a minute.
Being my first year at VT and then wearing the Auburn hat, yeah, it's a little confusing. I get it.
Yeah, that the Auburn hat did it. Also, I have not mentioned your shirt, so I will shout out that shirt. Excellent choice of apparel.
I'm old and it shows.
No, that show was a 2000s show. What are you talking about?
Blue's Clues definitely debuted in the 90s.
Okay, now I am Google that.
Go ahead and Google it.
Okay, so late
Joe
90s,
didn't
yeah.
get into the show until the 2000s, but yeah, Steve was 90.
So 96.
Okay, 96.
Yeah, 96 until I guess it got rebooted, so it's still going on today. But 96, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, they're on their third host, but I digress.
All right. Well, anyway, great shirt. I just wanted to say that. All right, I'll go to you then, Gene. Talk about this week and I guess your game as well.
Man, it was something that had me pulling my hair out, honestly. There's a lot to talk about, really, as far as just how we played. We played really good. We definitely don't have no high-strung, high-talented defense, so I was very impressed how they were able to keep Auburn underneath. And that could have been Beard's game plan, too, was to take a couple of shots, but really just beat us up over the middle and try to use Scally, which he did very well. But, I mean, I think besides for, what was that, a second down field goal, at the 1 yard line, a couple of missed passes. I mean, I think it was an easy win for us if we could take those back. But right now, I'm happy with how the team's playing. I was kind of scared we were going to play like we did versus UNC, and I didn't want to get my butt whooped that bad again.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at it now. The first half, Auburn leads 14-6 at half. Certainly, Auburn, for all the struggles they've had this season so far, they have been very good at times. And you made it a 3-point game. Obviously, Auburn wins it at the end there. We'll get into the players of the week, though, as well. I think your defense, for the talent you have, I think I've said it in the SEC articles as the SEC beat writer, is maybe one of the most talented defenses for what you got there. So I will give you props for that. Obviously, not the result you wanted. You got to win probably, I would say, and I'll ask you this. Do you think you win every game from here on out? You're in the playoffs, 4-4?
I would like to. We have a chance to do it. I mean, we've been known to pull some hairs, you know what I mean, and ruffle some feathers from here on out and make the playoffs. So, I think our next real challenge is going to be Bama. I mean, they're the only undefeated team in the league right now. So,
you're welcome for that, by the way.
Look, horn.
It's odd week, Cole Mantell. I have to at least mention that I played well for once. Of course, I didn't get any. Oh no, I got a VT guy right here, huh? But not Snare or whatever's Skinner is his name too. It was the same guy, I think. But yeah, so good luck to you guys the rest of the way. Daniel Gunn, you guys. Here's the thing, and here's how I'm going to preface it, because you can talk about some other games if you want to. But UNC Notre Dame, when we did our picks last week, everybody picks UNC, and I think everybody was in agreement it was going to be a mercy as well, is what we predicted after your loss to Miami, that you guys were just going to steamroll them. Obviously UNC wins by a lot, but I'd say Notre Dame, considering what was expected of them, they held in pretty well for a while there.
Yeah, they're definitely a scrappy team, and they're heading in the right direction as far as building that program back up to what it used to be. And but we knew going into that game that we have the better team this year, and just wanted to make sure we went in there, took care of business, didn't really go for the step on the throat as people predicted, just because we didn't want to have one of those things that just go awry sometimes. So we just did our tried and true game plan and played our style of game and went home and started prepping for next week.
So I'll ask you this before I move on. UNC, do you remember the last time that you guys scored less than 40 points against this team?
probably would have been my first matchup when I think Wookie was still there. It's probably the first time we played him.
Nope, it was actually pretty
Oh.
recently. They
Can
beat
I,
you
can I,
56.
can I take a stab at what season?
Oh, well, I was about to say it, but go ahead.
Season 19?
Were you looking at it?
No, I'm not.
You're right. 56-19, February
As the
12th,
unofficial
2024.
official broadcaster of Notre Dame football, I kind of have to learn and memorize some of their things.
Yeah.
It comes with the travel.
Yeah. So 56-19, that was season 19. I don't remember who was the AD then. I don't know if it was still, it might have been DT Hall, but that was the last time Notre Dame
I
beat you
forgot
guys
he was
too.
there.
Yeah. I don't think it's a diss against him, but like,
No, I just
yeah, he was there for a while, wasn't he?
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's definitely interesting because UNC and UND, not UND. I guess it technically is UND, but that's not how we know it. Notre Dame, a very one-sided affair in history for Notre Dame, and then all of a sudden, you guys, the last few years, really have gotten it together. So, that's all I have really to say on that matchup. We'll see how Notre Dame improves next year and how their season's going right now, how they fix it. But let's see here. Yeah, Texas escapes West Virginia. That was another one. Florida. Tennessee's been really scrappy this year. I mean, I've talked a lot about them just because I cover the SEC for the articles, but within 6 of Florida, they got, I believe it's Auburn this week. I know there's been a lot of talk in league chat about that matchup. That's going to be a big one. Oregon, Penn State, we talked about it was going to be a close game, and it was a 3-point game. Colorado, LSU, very, very close games all around the board. So another great week. Anyone have any parting thoughts before we move on?
I agree. I think Tennessee's definitely been making headway going forward, but I still think in that game they still struggled in the red zone. If I'm not mistaken, they kicked like 4, maybe 5 field goals that game, which is points, but I think that was the deciding factor as far as Florida getting that win, was just having a better red zone percentage and being able to score touchdowns. Yeah, actually, look, here's the stats right here. 4 touchdowns, 6 appearances for Florida, 5 appearances, and 1 touchdown from Tennessee with 4 field goals.
I mean, when it comes down to getting to the red zone converting, I mean, those stats are the big tell of the tape. If you don't convert and you settle, and the other team is converting at will, you can't expect to stay in the game.
Yeah, but they definitely kept it close. I mean, the defense stayed good comparatively, but
yeah, I've been impressed with Clemson too. I mean, only losing to Miami by 7. I think they were close against Florida State as well. Like, I think they're a much better team than their record. They're only bad losses against the Bama team, but Bama's just on a different level, it seems, so far this season.
Yeah, so I'm not going to comment specifically on Clemson, but we had Logan on the show. I think it was maybe a month ago, and he's been talking about his team so long. This is the year. Obviously, the record's not quite where you want it to be, but I mean, there's no easy game in this CFSL. Like, we talk about Notre Dame. It used to be Tennessee, but we all piled on. Maybe it's Notre Dame this year. Maybe it's some of the other teams that have yet to get a win. But
okay, well, see here, if I may, here's the thing with Notre Dame. Notre Dame having the freshman Perez at quarterback and really trying to guide their way through the league right now, it's absolutely a daunting task, especially with how competitive and how great the ACC is as a whole. But with them predicating their offense on the run game, but when the run game's not working, you don't shy away from it. It's kind of hard to stay competitive and really try to keep that fight going. And the defense will make all the plays that they can to try to keep the offense to make something. The offense is just not where they need to be, and I feel like it's a repeat of what we saw last season, but if they keep applying themselves, I think they can get those kinks worked out. And I really do want to see Notre Dame do more than what they've shown the last 3 seasons.
Well, here's the thing. Notre Dame has a win. Like, they're not even statistically the worst team in the CFSL if you go by record.
True.
I guess to add on to that point, Penn State and Kentucky are 2-0-5 teams, and obviously not great seasons for them. But, like, I don't know if in a playoff game a lot of teams would choose the ADs of those 2 teams I guess Kentucky has a new AD, but even then, Kentucky might be the worst ball luck in CFSL history. Penn State, we played them and they almost got us.
Penn State's just young. I think they have like 16 freshmen.
Yeah, that's part of it too. So no easy win in this league this year. And I think that's a testament to, as we call it, the parity era, as Mike likes to talk about. So that's all I got. Anything else, guys?
I think Eugene's just new, and he's just got to work out some of his bugs because we know that UK team is talented. We know that they can win games.
I don't even think.
I think it's just Eugene getting the right coaching from people and kind of figuring out his footpath of how he gets this team going. I think once he figures that out, he'll be able to get some wins, no problem.
I don't even think. Yeah, like Kentucky. I would argue they have a pretty good game plan because they've played some really good teams within a score: Ohio State, Colorado, Alabama. I think it's when they get a pick six in overtime.
Yeah.
Their defense they got to fix. I agree with you, but I think Kentucky's actually got a pretty damn good team. I think they might have the worst ball luck in CFSL history with what they've had. Pick six in overtime. Missed field goal, I think, was one of them. This one against Alabama, you're within 3 against undefeated Alabama. I think Kentucky actually is maybe a pretty good team and might be like this year's version of the Chicago Bears from this past season where everything went against them.
I mean, I can stand on that with you, but I think the whole actually as a whole the league has kind of been plagued with kind of like some bad juju where it comes to drops or just even just some weird play calls. You know what I mean? That's
just the game. It's a 2014 game. It happens. It's happened at every AD and every school in the history of this league. It's just that's just part of the game, and you move on and keep grinding, and you'll get there.
As a commentator, if I had to see another wide receiver screen, I'm gonna lose it. I've never seen as many wide receiver screens as this season specifically.
You got to start running the tunnels.
Great.
You got to start running the tunnel screen.
Give me the tunnel screen. Give me the halfback screen out the backfield. That's fine. But the bubble screen, Oregon, I am calling you out specifically.
They're out of that.
Oh man,
they're out of their playbook. Yeah, they switched playbooks.
Thank heaven.
The Baylor playbook is a great playbook except for the
screens. And it's a pain in the bat. But so just before we move on, I will say this: teams under 500 in this league that have a better point differential than 0-5 Kentucky at -25. Let's just go down the list. Let's see. No one in the SEC, West Virginia and Texas A&M, and Michigan. That's it.
That is
3 teams.
That is a small list.
I honestly Kentucky. To me, I think you give them 10 extra points in these games, which granted their defense definitely needs to improve. I'll give you that. They're a 500 team. I don't know. But best of luck to them and the rest of the teams. We will move on. And actually, speaking of game of the week, I kind of want your guys' opinion on this. We're going to go into the players and games of the week. I'm going to start at the end just because we're talking about it. The 4 or 5 nominees, and thank you, Gene, for providing it in the group chat. Virginia Tech at Florida State, USC at Michigan, Kentucky at Alabama, Oregon at Penn State, Texas at West Virginia. I'm going to go to you again, Dom, here, just because I think I know what your choice is for game of the week.
To be fair, normally the last 2 episodes I've came in completely unbiased, and I get that. I've had some time to grow, but then again, 6 versus 5 on the road in a packed ACC. How do you not toot your own horn and take your own pick? There absolutely are a lot of incredible games. USC Michigan was an absolute great game. Kentucky and Bama, I was really thinking Kentucky was about to get some movement and really get it done. Oregon, Penn State, another good game. And then West Virginia and the heartbreak at Texas. Those are all good games. No sleeper picks this week. I have to toot the horn and say getting that top 5 win on the road absolutely is a good case.
Here's the thing. I think Virginia Tech probably has a good case here. If I had to pick who I think is going to win, I might agree with you. I don't know though. I'm still kind of undecided on this. Maybe I'll wait a minute. Daniel, I'll let you go next. Who's your pick?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the West Virginia Texas game.
Oh, yeah, that's
Anytime
good.
there's
Yeah.
a huge underdog like that, like Texas, based off the rankings and how they've played this year, should have blown them out of the water. But you can never count Gunner Rice out, and they put up a big fight and made it an interesting game the whole time. I didn't get to watch it, but I kept getting the updates because it was happening during our game. But I think that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, brutal way to end it for West Virginia, but
Yeah,
easily.
The ending of the game was heartbreaking.
It's happened to me too. It's happened to Oklahoma State when they were in their dynasty. We had a power outage for them. You know, if you not DM AD in this league long enough, it's going to happen to you. So my heart's out to West Virginia. They were the victim of it this season. That's the game for you. Gene, your pick?
So mine was between two different games, but I'm going to follow behind Dunn and also say the Texas West Virginia game, just because both offenses passed for over 500 yards. They were both in the upper 40s as far as their percentage for third downs. Like, it was just a really, really good game. Back and forth, came down to the wire.
It really was. And part of it as well is Texas. We talk about maybe one of the more underrated teams in this league, how strong they've been this year. And I mean, they gave them everything, West Virginia, everything that Texas had. They still get out of it, obviously, but what a performance for West Virginia. For me, I'm going to go with USC Michigan just because we talked about it last week. I had the USC AD, I had Michigan AD, Aaron Ike, and then we had a lot of discussion, I guess, just on this game. Just really great game. Obviously, it was right before our game too. And congratulations to Aaron. He picked his team to win last week, and he got super close. I'll put it that way. But yeah.
Yeah, because they also were over a 500 offense as well, and had a pretty good third down percentage.
Yeah. So offensive player of the week, we'll move on to that. Let's see here. Well, I mean, you know what I'm going to choose. I'll go first. I'm going to take myself in the win over Ohio State. I guess I have to get that out of the way. Odd week, Cole Mantell strikes again. Well, don't worry. Next week, I'll throw 5 interceptions to make it even. We'll still win, hopefully, but, I cannot understand my season here. It's just up and down, up and down. Del Este is nominated from Oklahoma. Gold is nominated in his win over Michigan. Wyndham Carter from that same game, the loss for Michigan, he gets nominated. Then the receiver, Bobby Black, gets nominated. Let's see. Daniel, I guess I'll start with you. Your pick.
I'm tempted to go with Black. I just love seeing a receiver amongst all those quarterbacks, but I think I'm gonna go with Jameson in this game. Just he pretty much single-handedly carried them over Michigan, and anytime a quarterback can get over 100 rushing yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns, that's hard to do. And as a rushing quarterback, when I have those games, I'm ecstatic, and I just think that kind of performance doesn't go unnoticed, and he's getting my vote for that reason.
It was nice having you on the show. You are now banned.
Tough.
You're gonna run out of guests if you're not careful. I think you banned all your guests last week.
Banned every guest the last 3 weeks. It's just a running joke at this point. All right, Dom, who you taking?
Well, see, now you put me in a weird position because the last person to speak just got banned from the show. But I did.
You understand the stakes.
I did take some looking going into the recording, and I will say that my vote is going to go to this really scrappy kid who just got a cannon of an arm, shooting 82% on a game. When you're firing 82% completion percentage, it's hard not to select you. And then 583, that's a game. 5 tutters too against Ohio State. Yeah, no, come on, give me Cole Mantell. Absolute credit to everybody. I love Mateo Del Este, or as I call him, Himothy Del Este. Good kid, really, really great performance. Gold absolutely did carry USC on their back. Carter, got to give appreciation for the effort putting in that loss. And then, like it was said, having a wide receiver in there with all the quarterbacks, you know that they had a phenomenal game. And really, I feel like this week specifically, there's a lot of receivers that really could have made an argument to be in that slot. So having the core and then the one, you makes you look at that one and go, really like the performance you put in. But no, I've got to go with Cole Mantell. I'm going to catch some flack for that, maybe some glazing, but
Hey, good choice. I approve. Before I move on to Gene, I will say this. I mean, everyone deserving this week. I know it's a little weird with me nominating and talking about my own player, but Bobby
Bias.
Black. Yeah. The two Michigan guys in a loss. I think that tells you how good their offense was in that game. And, Venom and I go way back. We have a bit of a rivalry. And Del Este, we haven't even talked about. He had 7 combined touchdowns, too. So, Gene, I'll let you finish us off here.
Man, this one, I might as well just go ahead and get banned also because I just not that you did not have a good performance because you had a great performance, Cole.
For the record, he got banned for choosing Venom, not against me. But go ahead.
Right. So, you did have a fantastic game, like a really great game. But I'm also going to pick Gold as well because, again, I've stated earlier in the show.
Yeah, you are banned.
I really like a dual threat quarterback. So I want you to put 400 down and go over the century mark in rushing as well.
Like I said, you're not banned for not picking me. You're banned for picking Venom. Just to be clear.
Is it too late to amend my pick?
Yes, it is. You get one shot. We've established this precedent. You have one shot. You cannot change your pick after somebody else picks it.
But
don't worry,
like
you'll
y'all
have a
said,
chance.
everybody that's on this offensive player of the week, I mean, they all deserve their spot there. So, the glories to all of them. Really, they all did great work for their teams.
Yeah. No. Let's see here. I like you said, great games. I say it in jest, but Venom, if he wins, well deserving. Del Este, I think 7 touchdowns as well. Needs a shout out again. But we'll move on. Defensive player of the week. Actually, Gene, I don't think you've gotten first yet, so I'm gonna just put it right back towards you.
Okay. My pick for defensive player of the week is going to be Roman Ware. He had a beast of a game versus UK.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I don't think this was really much of a choice at all.
I think
Primus with
we're all
that
in
with the
agreement.
loading up on those tackles is phenomenal. But I mean, 3 interceptions and a touchdown. You can't really compete against that.
As an actual Auburn fan, it really hurts to not only pick them.
Oh
but
shit!
it hurts
I
even
liked
more
you.
to pick Ware. And
So you're an actual. So I have to do Auburn
Yeah,
fans and a Georgia fan. This is nonsense.
Hey, I'm tatted. It's legit. It's not recency bias at all. I promise. God, it's not recency bias.
Yeah, I was gonna say what recency bias.
You would be a fan of Hugh Freeze and TJ Finley.
Golf and basketball have been nice. We like these.
Number 1 in
Football's
basketball.
been-
That's all that matters. We're a basketball school.
We're in everything school. We're blue bloods. It's cool.
No, we are not. we are the chaotic demon. I'll give you that, but we are not Blue Bloods. If Cam Newton is the best player in our team history, and I love Cam Newton, we are not Blue Bloods.
Cam Newton might be the best player in college football history, and that's coming from a
I
Bama
would say
fan.
that. I would say that, but Tim Tebow has an argument. There's guys...
Okay. No.
Cam had the single best season, maybe Burrow.
It was a one and done walk off, and he did it with janitor players.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Could you imagine if he didn't steal that laptop and he was in Urban Meyer's system for 3 years? How insane he would have been.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad he stole that laptop. Appreciate you, homie.
Suddenly, crime is great. I love it.
Hey. I mean, technically, Nick Marshall and his issues, he fell into our lap. Thank you, Georgia. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Actually, Georgia has a pretty good pipeline of players making mistakes and falling into our laps and being good. I'm cool with it.
Sounds like you're scared.
I wish I was scared. At this point, it's just acceptance each year, and God, I hope it's the best.
Dude,
yeah,
I had to watch
so much. I can't.
I went
not this year.
I went to Auburn when we lost Gus Malzahn. Brian Harsin was our coach, and we had TJ Finley as our starting quarterback at one point. Like,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
my freshman year.
Hey, don't
was,
worry, Gus is back at Florida State.
hey, it's gonna be great.
Man, I've got so many concerns about that, but hey,
I think it's gonna be very entertaining. Go ahead.
no, it is not.
It is
No.
gonna be very entertaining.
First off, I'm still waiting on an actual quarterback to show up on campus for Florida State. Nobody they currently have is passing that litmus test. It's a free for all.
Sorry, Daniel, go ahead.
just say my freshman year at Bama was Saban's first championship, so we kind of got opposite
Oh,
experiences
you
there.
are definitely banned now. You're double banned.
I
Go
did have
fuck
to live
yourself.
through. I did have to live through the Cam year, but
Boo fucking who?
Also,
Yeah.
I want to add, dropping $100 to go to the Vandy game at home and sitting in the end zone to watch that suckfest broke my soul.
Honestly, I don't really care because we suck and they beat Bama too. So that's how I feel it. If we had to lose so that they can beat Bama, I really do not care.
Pride, money.
We were going to
spent.
lose that game before the season anyway. So the fact that they beat Bama as well makes it a little bit better.
I mean, at this point, who didn't beat Bama this year?
Us?
Hey.
Auburn.
We can kick us down. That's fine. We're already at the bottom. There's nothing more that can be said.
Just to be clear.
Showing that Bama
We
is no
did not
longer
beat
the same
Bama.
Bama is just refreshing. It's like, oh hey,
Oh, if
welcome,
Will was on
welcome
this
to the rest
podcast.
of us.
Oh God. Okay, I might have to ban you too when this is all over. Okay,
Fair
finally,
enough.
all-purpose player of the week. We'll go quickly. Tom, you want to talk about this?
Eden Ballard, absolutely. 234 yards on 6 kick returns and a touchdown. It's hard to not really go that way. Having a performance like that in the special teams, because special teams, special players, that absolutely gets its respect. It's Eden Ballard all the way.
How about you, Gunn?
Yeah, I haven't really looked into this one all that much. I mean, the 2 kick returns for 124 yards and a touchdown is pretty damn impressive too. That's quite the average, but I mean, 200. Anytime you can get 234 return yards is, I think I got to go with Ballard as well.
Ballard, by the way, almost single-handedly made it a game at one point in our game. I voted for Poole just because he's on my team, but good performance from him. Gene, what about you?
Yeah, I also picked Ballard as well. Those numbers don't lie.
No.
Yeah, it feels pretty unanimous. A really, really good game from him. I expect him to win on Monday. But, all right. So, we're about 30 minutes in. We still got the predictions to go through today. I'm going to go a little bit out of order here. Some viewer questions. The question form, we got a lot of questions actually tonight. When we started, before we got everybody to start the show, we only had like 1 or 2. Now we're up to I think 6 or 7. We're not going to get to all of them tonight, but one of them I wanted to bring up because Nate Snare had this question from VT. So Dom, I'll let you answer this first. What personally do you believe weighs most in choosing player awards? Is it the numbers, etc., weights, win-loss? And I shared, obviously it's public on the website now, and I was talking about it last week. The mid-season award articles, I chose 3 players or teams in one case from each team. So, I have my own answer to this, but I'm curious what you guys think on this. And Dom, I'll let you go first. Then we got 2 ADs who I'm sure have a response of their own.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of ball don't lie, and it ties into, look at the Heisman voting this year. You saw, oh, hey, he does 2 positions. He's good, even though Janty had a monster season at halfback. To me, stats and ball don't lie. What you put on your sheets is indicative of absolutely, hey, you had the best stats. You showed that you're the best at that it's you.
Yeah, because that Mountain West competition is tough.
Yeah. Wait.
Really, really, Colorado? Really?
That's tough. At least they're in a real conference.
All I'm going to say is that Boise State, for all the weak conference talk about them, also almost took down Oregon, who ended up, they had a bad loss to Ohio State, but what is it, 200 yards all purpose against Oregon?
besides Notre Dame in the playoffs, who didn't have really a bad loss to Ohio State. Ohio State was on an absolute tear in the playoffs.
Rest in peace, Tennessee, but also suck it.
Yes.
I can get down with that.
Just throw your feelings in the river. We don't care. But, so really, to me, it comes down to stats. Like, stats really show what you did on the season. And, I know people like to include, especially in the CFSL, we like to include, hey, who's being active, who's making impacts, this, that, and the other. To me, I'm old school. I'm stats. What you bring to the table is what you bring to the table. I don't care about your outside accolades. On the field is on the field. And if we're dictating on the field awards, on the field play is what gives those awards. I don't play favorites. It's not a buddy system. On the field gives on the field awards. Now, commentators, that's a whole ocean of its own. As a commentator, I'm just happy to see who's up there. And as somebody who was, as a finalist last year, little snubbed this season, but that just gives me more motivation for the back half of the season. I took notice. But no,
if I chose to say, I have like a 2% chance. I've done this for like 5 seasons. I think I've gotten one mid-season pick right. Like of the 50 picks I've made over the last 5 seasons. Like statistically have a higher chance of like going out and winning a lottery ticket than me correctly choosing you to win in that article. Just by the way, I
haven't bought a lottery ticket in a while, and Georgia's only 30 minutes from the house.
I'm just saying, statistically, if I put you in that article, it is very bad news. And also, I chose half your team, so suck it.
I'm on the field. I like where they picked, and all of that. Yes. That's just my own little box.
Also, I chose your team for team spirit. So, like,
as active and as chaotic as we've been in league chat throughout the week, it's fair.
Okay. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
I go in with kind of a hybrid system. Obviously, the stats are important, but I also look into who you've played and then if you've had what they call the Heisman moment. Like I like to see someone that has taken over a game at some point or like just put themselves on the map with a single game performance that kind of separates them from, because everybody that's nominated has phenomenal stats typically, and I just like to see someone that can come in a situation where they're needed and they single-handedly win them the game or take over the game.
I like that answer, actually. I'll get to my thoughts in a second. Gene, I'll let you speak as well.
I'm kind of like the in-between of them two, really, of Gunn. You know what I mean? Like, I like to see the stats, but I think you have to be able to but you have to be somebody who's made very important, impactful plays. You know what I mean? And maybe not every game you're the sole leader, you know what I mean, as far as the stats go, but majority of the time when you're on the field, you're making big, impactful plays that's going to put your team in a better chance of success. And that could be on offense, defense. That could be the punt returner who you may not even see playing time outside of just getting punts. But, if he's able to run 3 back to the house every game or every 4 games, just an example, right? So that's not like, don't crucify me because I'm using that as an example. But, I'm kind of like, I want to see both. I want to see good numbers and I want to see good, impactful plays.
Yeah, so I'll put my thoughts on this because I thought it was a good question from Snare. Here's my part of it. When you are voting for All-American, because I think too often in this league we talk about, like, say, All-American and then real-life All-Americans, and then we talk about Offensive Player of the Year and the Heisman Award. When it comes to All-American, I think it's purely a statistical exercise for me. I will, go through some of the stats, maybe some advanced stats, especially at like the quarterback position or the wide receiver position. But when it comes to actually like who I'm picking, it is statistically a statistical exercise for me. For some of the, I'll say off the field awards, so Fan of the Year, Broadcast of the Year, I think there's a lot that goes into that. Like for Broadcast of the Year, I'm going to choose not only who gets the games, but also the biggest games. For fan of the year, I want who's in chat, but also, a good player on the field as well. As a personal voter preference. Team spirit, same idea. Good team, good season, but I want a team that's good in chat and on the field. And actually, AD of the year, I put you as one of the AD of the year candidates because, yeah, you've gone 0-5 in the playoffs, but this is probably your best statistical season, unless a tragedy happens. You're gonna win the ACC. At least
we dodge that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, we're not gonna skate over that. Hold on.
Hey, no. I'll put it this way because I put it in the article too. If VT wins the UNC game and wins the ACC, your AD is going to win that award. Again, remember that 2% success rate of me picking someone to win.
I mean,
but at the end of the day, especially when it comes to the ones that people want to know about, defensive and offensive player of the year, they're really, really big awards. It's for me both a combination of stats and just why, like you say, that Heisman moment. Even though they are, again, two completely different awards. The Heisman is both an offensive and defensive player of the year award. In a way, there's argument about that. Obviously, offensive players have dominated the last 20 years. In this league, there's two different equal, MVP awards, if you want to put it that way. And so I think that lends itself to valuing the performances and really just how they got the performance. Not necessarily the moments, but how, say, I put Tyree again as a candidate for the article, and how he has helped Ohio State's offense be that next level offense, not just the fact that he is maybe the best quarterback in the CFSL right now. So that's my thoughts on it, and I thought it was a great question.
I don't know. I'm gonna catch some.
He said it
for this.
Cole said that. That's
funny. Not even being biased here. There happens to be a UNC quarterback that I'm quite a certain fan of, especially after getting to watching Call performance this week. While yes, it was against Notre Dame. I'm a believer in Price. Kid can ball. What can I say?
Here's the thing with Price. If we're gonna talk about that, Price is 4th in quarterback rating. I just talked, a little bit about Tyree, who's 6th. You can go by yardage, which hilariously
click over to that total offensive yards page.
But yeah, not the fact that Cunningham is 500. I can't believe he has 500 more yards. This is why I think Kentucky might be the most unlucky team in CFSL history. Which was another question.
Those interceptions is what kills him.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. You got to turn down the interceptions. You got to do better on defense.
It's like they're running the Cole Mantell offense from Washington.
Dude, it's actually the Tony McDaniel offense. I did what I could with us, an 80 overall team, and we still beat a playoff LSU team. So suck it.
I mean, hey, talk your talk.
But 400 more yards than everybody else. I think Kentucky, it's been mistake and close call after close call. I won't touch too much more on it, but I can't believe it.
It's heartbreaking, Lexington for sure.
Oh my God. And then I will say this too, because this has happened twice or 3 times now. If you don't put your name and you just put troll as the person putting in the question, I'm not going to read the question. So
you should though.
I mean, you can just say Venom.
It wasn't Venom. I know who it was because was that your team?
It was probably
Gunn. I think it was one of the Miami guys, but I'm not going to say who. And that's all. Maybe it was Venom. I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't think.
You should just throw one out there and just see if we want to answer to it, and if we don't, then we'll just say thumbs down or something.
I do want to touch on that from the show last week. Saying it was one of the biggest upsets of the season. Miami is a dominant team. That was. We went into that game with our best game plan. And it's a 50-50 game. You can ask Yost the same thing. I would not say that was one of the best. It's a disrespect to Miami to say that was one of the biggest upsets of the year.
Well, I guess now we know that considering they're 2-0 in conference. I think the last 2 weeks have kind of shown that too. Because going into that game, they're 2-1. They're not.
But their loss was to USC, who's the
I agree.
two-time defending national champion.
I certainly agree they are a very good team, but I think what you guys showed and what they showed over the first 3 weeks, obviously hindsight's 2020 now that they've, beat you guys, beat Clemson. 3-point loss, I agree with you. And they definitely, had a tough win over Kentucky, and then I'm looking at it now, the big win over Texas A&M. For my money, I thought that they were a good team, and I thought you guys were better. And I think that's what kind of led to it. I know Aaron certainly felt the same way, and whoever else was on there too. But I think it was Aaron that had that comment. It was either him or Travis, maybe. But yeah, I do think there is, now that we know that they're very good, because they're 4-1 and tied
That
for
running
the
back's
lead.
a cheat code.
Yeah, another person I nominated for possibly Offensive Player of the Year. So I'm with you on that, I guess. That they are a very, very good team.
Now,
All right.
now I'm curious about the troll question.
Right.
I mean,
That's what
that
I
was
curious
basically
about.
that was basically
Uh,
it. It was basically, how do you feel after you got lost to Miami and now that you won? I was trying to.
Well, I
trying
mean,
to
and
start something.
there's a lot of dynamics that go into that game. I came into this league on Dobbins' coaching staff at Alabama with Yost as one of the coordinators, so they taught me the game, and the three of us and Ware in a group chat since the Bama days and talk every day. So like it's a chess match. We all know
I'm
each
so sorry.
other.
They have to talk to him every day.
We all know each other very well. So it's like we're playing 4D chess against each other. And past few years, Yost has been my daddy, but we'll get him when it matters.
It's funny because I love Ware to death, but he's he is really, you and Ware, you could say, both. You can draw comparisons to it. Have just turned it up a notch this year. Obviously, Ware undefeated, you just with one loss to Miami. We'll see how it goes in the playoffs, obviously, but a lot of good things to say there, and I'm not gonna belabor the point, but I think it's time for some predictions. What do you guys think?
I want to touch on the Miami UNC game, and mainly just kind of that swing for Gunn a little bit, because y'all realize that, or maybe that y'all probably know, but people listening, like, this UNC team has put up more than 40 points on like the last 10 opponents, win or lose. You know what I mean? Like, Gunn's got a great program, so I can understand why maybe some people might feel like, that looks bad, but that's the Miami did a good job defensively, and that's what happened there. It's just a fluke, just like we talked about earlier in the
I don't know if it
show.
was I just think it was a 50-50 game going in. Like you can run that sim 10 times and it could be easily be 5-5.
Maybe fluke was the bad phrasing for that. Maybe I could use better wording there, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that, like, your team and what you've done there, it shows just off of every game you've played outside of that one. So, like, trying to throw you under the bus, and kind of talk crap to you over a one loss is kind of silly.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm not trying to belabor the point, but I'd expect both Alabama and UNC to be a top 5 team this week. Alabama almost assuredly number 1, and Miami maybe number 2, North Carolina number 3 possibly, or you throw USC in there, Texas as well. I mean, they escaped West Virginia, but still.
I mean, if we're talking about rankings, where's A&M still in the ranks? And they're the only one-win team in the top. Was that 5, 10?
Well, I
top
don't think this week. We'll see, but I don't think this week they're gonna. We'll see. You never know. Mike and Frosty are up to their rankings on Monday. We'll see. But all right, you guys ready for some predictions?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I added an extra prediction this week just because it is Super Bowl weekend, and we're recording this on Friday. The game's on Sunday. We're actually probably going to release the show. Let's see. I'm either going to release it before or like right before the Super Bowl or like during the Super Bowl possibly. So this might come out and the game might be going on, or by the time you're watching this, it might be Monday and the game's over. But just for fun, you are going to get your first pick. I need all of you to pick either the Chiefs or the Eagles, and I will hold you to it. Who wants to go first? Any Chiefs or Eagles fans here? No? Okay, good. Because then you really would be banned. Gene, go ahead.
I would love to be like, well, we know the refs are going to help the Chiefs and they're going to win, but I really want the Eagles to win.
All right.
I'm going to have to go with the Eagles this time. I just hope that they're able to make sure they're on their P's and Q's, and when the coach tells them to keep their thumb in the back pocket of the receiver, don't actually do that. Just stay close. and make sure not to hit Mahomes too hard. They're going to hit him with that.
Don't touch him. Don't breathe on him.
Right,
Don't look
right.
at him.
Make sure you keep it below the waist.
All right.
Anyway.
Gunn, who you got?
I want the Eagles because of Hurts and Devontae Smith. I think the Eagles are going to win, but my gambling mind is I'm going to choose the Chiefs because, like, if I were to bet on the Eagles and they lost, I'd question myself and be like, why the hell did I bet on them? But if I bet on the Chiefs and they lose, I still think it was a good bet. So you can't count Mahomes out. It's going to be the Chiefs.
It's going to be
the Kansas City Swifts.
Love it.
Dom, who you got?
Fins up, trade Tyreek, give me the Eagles. I'm not picking the Chiefs. Period.
Wait. Not that Tyreek isn't a head case, but like trade Tyreek is
I'm tired of
hell
waking
of a
up
statement.
every day to another news article about Tyreek. Give me a third round pick and please get on. Done. Tired.
Okay, I'm a Bucks fan. I will happily pair Tyreek with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
No. Give me Evans. Take Tyreek. I got
No. You don't get that. No. I'd rather lose Baker than lose Mike Evans. He is the soul of this franchise.
We do need a solid backup quarterback. So hold on.
Yeah, Tua is a starter quality question mark.
Imagine that Alabama quarterbacks aren't durable.
If he can walk, he's a good quarterback.
Here's my thing. If I'm going to talk good about any NFL Alabama quarterback, Bryce Young this season, when everybody thought he was like going to become the next Josh Rosen and come back into the NFL and he's not going to go to the Pro Bowl or anything, but like he's a starting quality possibly NFL quarterback.
I'm a Panthers fan. Something definitely clicked after he got you kind of saw the kind of Bama swagger he had back in the day, but I still think he's way too small to be an NFL quarterback.
Hard to be swaggerous at 5'9".
Yeah.
Excuse me? Are you trying to offend someone who's 5'8"?
No, I'm 5'8". Shut up. we don't get that level of swagger. We don't have that aura.
Speak for yourself, sucker.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to take Casey in overtime again because everything is terrible and I hate the NFL sometimes.
Not OT. Anything but that.
I want Philly to win, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Back in, 2017 when Philadelphia won, and it was, the comparison against the evil empire. Yeah, with Nick Foles, with Luke Skywalker, and, going against Darth Vader and the New England Patriots, which I always have said nice things about Tom Brady. I never hated him before he came to our team. Definitely.
Yeah, bullshit.
Don't check my history. I love. He might be back. Oh no, he's your coach now, right?
Yeah.
Daniel.
Don't hate on my coach, asshole.
Oh boy.
See if he survives the season. We'll go from there.
He will definitely survive the season. We're paying him enough.
He cannot treat those kids like he did the team. It won't fly. It in the way of NIL and transfer portal, it will not fly.
Yeah,
right.
MJ just made a $5.6 million donation to the NIL fund. He's finally invested.
And if the Wizards are any indication, or the Hornets, maybe you don't want MJ running your sports
He's
franchise.
not running. He's donating. Huge
just
difference.
As a Hornets fan, I co-sign that statement.
I don't even know much about basketball. I know that you don't want Michael Jordan as your owner.
What is basketball for 500?
Yeah.
As a Georgia fan, that tracks.
Let's see here. All right, so I got the games. We'll just go right down the list. Monday night, you have USC at Ohio State, and I think both teams are back on Monday night again, and then VT again on Monday night with newcomer to Monday night, Miami. Let's see. Dom, I guess you're in this game, so I will let you choose first for Monday night. USC, Ohio State, VT, Miami. Who are your picks?
So honestly, I'm completely torn on both games. Sounds weird. I really like USC as a whole. Ohio State really does have a lot of spunk in the team this year, and you can't count them out, especially with being at home. It feels like you could run this sim back maybe 10 times and split 5-5. I'm gonna take USC, but I'm not comfortable with that 100%. Virginia Tech, it's gonna come down to, here's how I put it completely. Can the defense contain the broken Bo Yos as it is with 8 touchdowns on the season already, which is incredible? Or is St. Major going to show up and completely throw pick after pick and find a hole? 6 picks on the year. It's really kind of hard to come out of a hole like that against good teams. They got lucky and they found a way to rally to come back with Florida State. If Virginia Tech finds themselves in a hole, it's going to be hard to get out with how explosive the Miami offense is. So it just boils down to which team shows up. But now when the Virginia Tech offense balls, it reminds me of Auburn from years past. The passing that St. Major has put off this year, Orndorff at receiver, Dr. Dansby running the rock. The offense can be explosive and can absolutely score in the blink of an eye. It comes down to who's going to be there on that game. But I will be taking Virginia Tech. Otherwise, I won't survive to see another episode. So
I won't have to ban you. You'll just be dead. All right, that's a good book.
I'll turn up in the locker room somehow.
All right, USC at Ohio State, Virginia Tech at Miami. Gunn, 2 your rivals in the later game. Who you got?
I got USC winning the first one. I just think they're. I'm nothing against Ohio State's talent. They've obviously got a great team. They went undefeated last year and are rolling again this year. But I mean, until the champs get taken down, they're the champs. So going with USC on that one, and strictly because I want them to lose, I'm going to go with Miami.
That's a good choice. Love that reasoning.
Yeah, it really is. I think when any matchup between UNC, Miami, Virginia Tech, and Florida State, they're 50-50 games at this point because Tech really took a step up this year. So that's my reasoning. I want them to lose, so I'm going to pick them.
I take everything nice I said back.
You can't ban a fellow guest, unfortunately. But you can choose a team for whatever reason you like.
You should like the reasoning, though. I'm terrible.
Because you're bad luck. Yes.
I'm terrible at picking. So
if it comes up and it happens, I'm coming straight for you, and I'll be in your DMs. Be like,
come on.
Hey.
Gene, who you got?
Well, I just want to say that I was 5th overall in the Sportsbooks last season, but I'm going to go with USC. I love Jacob. I love Assured. I talk to both of them often. And really, I don't want to have to pick a team here. But I think if Ohio State's defense shows up, it's going to be a hell of a game. And then as far as the Virginia Tech-Miami game, Moochie's my boy. He knows that. I'm hoping Virginia Tech gets that dub there, too. I feel like both teams are pretty equal and kind of like what Gunn said, it's probably going to be a 50-50 game. I don't see it being no crazy blowout on either side. I think turnovers are going to make a large percent of that, how that outcome is.
I really feel like that game will come down to whoever has the ball last is either going to have the chance to win or have the chance to put it away. It's going to be.
I'm gonna set the line at Miami minus 16.5, so they lose. That's been the number this year where all the big upsets have happened. If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, actually, that tracks.
So, Gene, just to clarify, you are taking VT in that game?
Yes, VT.
All right.
Go Hokies in that game.
Interlinked.
All right. I will finish it off. USC, Ohio State. We play both of these teams, and they're both very, very good teams. Don't let our score beating Ohio State last week fool you. They are motivated. I like them a lot here. I'm going to take USC, though. I think USC had a close call against us. I think they've really hit their gear. It's not been a perfect season for USC, but outside of the undefeated ranking, obviously, for Ohio State, which we broke, both teams are 4-1. I think USC wants that third Big Ten win, which will put them in commanding position, by the way. if they beat Ohio State and go to 3-0 when no other team has 2 wins in the Big Ten Conference. I think USC is very motivated as well. I think this should be a close game, but I'm going to take USC in regulation, which means 4-0, by the way, for us over Ohio State. I did not expect that. VT Miami, a much closer game on paper than I think people expected before week 1. VT definitely, there's only 3 automatic spots in the ACC. You got Miami, Florida State, and UNC trying to claim it at the beginning of the season. I think if VT wins this, we have to start seriously talking about VT winning this whole damn conference. But I'm going to take Miami here, honestly. And it's because of Miami's rushing game. I think VT's offense has enough to keep up with Miami's offense. But I think VT's defense, when they're not playing Cole Mantell and making my life a living hell, I think they're going to have to face a very balanced Miami team that, they beat a balanced team in Florida State. I'm not putting that past them. And hey, you know what? I know I see that face over there, Dom, but again, I am a curse. You want me picking against your team. So that's all I'm going to say on that. And we'll move on to Tuesday. All right. Well, Gunn, you're playing on this. We got Colorado at Oklahoma, then Clemson at UNC. I guess you're playing. I usually let you pick first when you're playing on that day, so go right ahead.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I just think I don't know if Colorado's defense can stop Del Este. Granted, they've got the second best rush defense in the league, but Del Este can also sling the rock, and I think he's going to end up being too much for Colorado. And Oklahoma has the 4th best rush defense in the league, and that's what a lot of Colorado's bread and butter is. So I think Oklahoma comes out on top of that, and then obviously UNC is going to win the second game.
Oh, shocking pick. Yes, okay. I had to get it in once this season. All right, Gene, who you got?
I actually am going to go with. I said go with. I'm going to pick Colorado. I would like to see them finally get a pretty big win versus a very good Oklahoma team. Not that it's understanding anything that Oklahoma has or what they can do, but I just wanted to see Colorado take them down and get a little bit of confidence, I guess would be the best word. And then as far as the Clemson, UNC, I mean, like I've spoke earlier, UNC is going to put up 40 points, so can Clemson fire back with that? We know North Carolina is going to put up 40 points. So I'm going to go with North Carolina there.
Alrighty. Dom, your chance here. Who you got?
Short, sweet, to the point. Timothy Del Este is him. We're gonna go Oklahoma, and it's not gonna be close. As the only team who has beaten Virginia Tech this season, I gotta roll with Oklahoma. That offense is explosive. The defense can cause a pinch and get a turnover when needed. Colorado's going in the right way. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma. I like what I see on the field. Clemson, North Carolina. Love AD Logan Wetzel. That's a good friend, fellow teammate. Enjoy what he's done in his second year as AD at Clemson. That being said, I'm tired of listening to the rest of the team and how Clemson is back. So I'm gonna need Price and Cece to handle business at home and stomp a mud hole in and get their get back. So
he said he wanted mercy.
Give me North Carolina and don't make it close.
Alrighty, fighting words. Let's see here. I'm going to take Colorado in the first game. I think, again, this Colorado team may be one of the most underrated teams in this league. Oklahoma, we beat them, but they are a very, very good team. The thing with Oklahoma, and one of the best nicknames, Dom, you touched on in the CFSL, in Timothy Del Este, or Himateo. I don't know how you say it. I'm not a young hip kid.
His first game, I called.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
that is
I saw
for that.
I called his first game in the CFSL. One of the few games I went out of retirement for it. Excellent talent. I think Oklahoma around him is still building it in some ways, but I think this one will be a close win for Colorado. It might be an upset too. I think Oklahoma is probably going to be your favorites coming into this game. But I think Colorado wins as the underdogs on the road in Norman. Clemson, North Carolina. I really want to pick Clemson here just to be funny, but UNC
banned.
has been. Yeah, that's fair. You can give me a
New host.
For the record, I said I want to, not I'm going to. I'm picking UNC here. Maybe the most complete team in this league. I know Alabama has been so good, but outside the loss to Miami, I think UNC has been at times almost as unbeatable as Alabama has, and this should be, it's going to be a good game, but I think UNC wins it, and that's what I got to say. Wednesday, Gene, you're playing on this day, so I'll let you go first. 6:30 Twitch. We got Michigan State at Oregon, YouTube Auburn at Tennessee, which I'm surprised that was a YouTube game. 8:30 Twitch, LSU at Texas. 8:30 YouTube, Alabama at Georgia. Gene, the floor is yours.
All right, so Michigan State versus Oregon. I'm definitely going to avoid Drake and that MSU team. It's nothing against Trippy. That Oregon team has a lot of fight in them, but I just think that MSU team is just all around a solid team. Somebody that you have to game plan for, knowing that they're going to bring it to you. So, again, start that off on Twitch. I'm going to go with MSU. I think they got it. For the Twitch game, Auburn versus Tennessee, I got to go to Beard. Beard has a talented team. He's kind of, we took an L to him, unfortunately, just last week, but I think that his team is just going to go out and do what they do. Did the same thing they did to us to Tennessee, and I don't think Tennessee's going to have much to respond to there. Then for the 8:30 games, we got LSU versus Texas. I haven't really watched too many of LSU's games, I'm going to be honest, and that's horrible of me to say as an AD, but they're not in the conference, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing too hot, they're not doing too hot, I just don't pay attention to it. But I'm going to go with Texas there. I think Texas is going to come home with the win. And then for the Alabama-Georgia game, we already know what that is. Georgia's going to stomp them Alabama, boy. I'm talking about go get them.
I had to put it on YouTube because it's going to be so big, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube because Alabama don't want none.
Hey, Mr. Real Life Alabama fan, how do you feel about that? Gunn, what's your picks?
All right, so first game, I just like the talent that Michigan State has. Obviously Cole can be up. Cole can be up and down. Michael running the rock. Like, he doesn't have many yards per game, but 6 touchdowns is crazy. That's a great number in the defense. And so give me Oregon for that one.
Wait,
and
what?
then I'll take Auburn over Tennessee.
No.
And I think Texas just blow LSU out of the water. They've got things running after that week 1 and roll Tide. Sorry, Gene, but I got to go with the Bama boys for this.
Hold on. Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
Somehow
All
that
right,
was
so I
intercepted.
guess Umbreon, you're up.
Fuck off. Fuck you. Go ahead.
God damn it, good.
I was going to ban you too. I was ready. I was ready to make amends. I was even going to choose I did choose your team.
Michigan State is absolutely humming right now at the right time, and I've called Oregon enough.
Give me Oregon.
To be
I had to take
tired
after.
of seeing the wide receiver screen. I'm glad that it's no longer in the system. They've still got some questions that are left to be answered, and against the powerful Michigan State team, this is going to be my Umbreon Untamed pick of the week, and I am taking Oregon. I want to see
Guys,
chaos.
you got
and give me the chaos at Autzen Stadium. Give me
Why
all
did I
of
start this show? Why did I do this to
Auburn
myself?
at Tennessee. Auburn. I talked to Beard before the game against Georgia, and he told me that they were going back to the Auburn system of previous seasons. It was going to be high octane, explosive. It was going to go through the air, and Thomas Scally is one of the top 3 hardest backs in the league to tackle. He is absolutely a phenom, and he has shown it year in and year out. Tennessee, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like Tennessee. Just as an Auburn fan. Take your opinion.
I like them better than
Don't
Bama.
care.
If that makes it feel better.
We'll get to that. Give me Auburn. If Auburn plays this week like they did last week and just jams it down their throat, pause. Yeah, you're absolutely going to give me Auburn here, and it's going to be a fun game. LSU in Texas. LSU is going to stomp a hole in Texas and run it dry. It's going to be ugly. Go ahead and just pencil that in as a lock. And Alabama and Georgia. As an Auburn fan.
Meteor is the right answer, by the way.
Oh, that's where I was going, but I didn't know if you were going to allow me to,
To go right
have
ahead.
my. Can we implode?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm pretty much damned if I do here, regardless.
Better watch them words.
However, if I am forced to pick, even though in a tough loss, one of my top 5 favorite quarterbacks in the league is Petty. Petty is absolutely incredible. He has grown throughout his career, and while he may risk you for the biscuit, and sometimes the biscuit comes up dry, no honey butter at all, he's not afraid to go out there and put the team on his back and get it going. Now, if y'all can, get Jed O'Reilly back on the field a little bit more and put him where he's supposed to be.
I sense you have him in fantasy football. For
No,
your team.
no, not at all. As a commentator who loves dad puns,
I
and
see.
being a plane fan, and how many air traffic control to jet jokes can I make, and I enjoyed doing that last season with Jed O'Reilly.
I see.
I'd like to be able to pick that back up.
I see.
No.
Definitely not.
Who
no,
is
he has-
Jed O'Reilly? Was that a walk-on?
Don't you do that.
Yeah. Hey, could you cut a scholarship so you can come to MSU then, please? I'm not going to recruit you over the air, but that'd be kind of funny.
But yeah, no.
I wish I had a yellow flag to throw.
I really do enjoy watching Georgia play, and from my previous years at Auburn, I more enjoyed the Georgia games than I did the Iron Bowls, just because belt to sorry where, don't care. But yeah, no, give me Georgia to take care of business.
See, you could have just made this very simple and just said, because if Georgia wins, Ware loses, and he's no longer undefeated, it'd be very funny.
Seeing as Ware wanted to recruit me in the draft, and I would have been so absolutely irate to have been on a Bama team, that is dead in the water there.
All
Hold
right.
on. I got this whole little... I'm pretty sure your name's on here also.
I'm going to take my own team, and I'm going to cry a little bit that I have to ban everyone except Gene on the show. How is the Georgia fan, the Georgia AD, how is he the one that I'm not going to ban here? I can't believe this. I'm going to take Auburn. I think that could do it. Auburn, look, Tennessee, very good team. They played a lot of teams close. I think Auburn's motivated to get back on track in the SEC. I think this game is closer than people might think it is. I think Tennessee covers, but I think Auburn wins. Texas and LSU. I mean, this is a sneaky good game. This could be maybe the game of the week. But for me, I'm going to take Texas. I think the momentum here is going to help them a little bit. They also are at home, which, I mean, it doesn't matter as much in the sim as it does in real life, but I like choosing the home team sometimes. What can I say? UGA, Alabama. Yes, I will choose Georgia just to make Ware suffer. That is my entire thesis here. I don't have anything else to say. I think Alabama's going to be a heavy favorite here, but Ware, it's funny to pick against Ware. That's about it.
We've kept it close the past three seasons with them, so
yeah, we'll see. And then we'll go to Thursday. One more game. We'll finish it up real quick here. Kentucky at Florida, then A&M at Virginia. Oh, not Virginia, West Virginia. I mean, it is Virginia, but it's the West Virginia. I guess they fought a whole war about them not being Virginia, but no matter. Michigan at Penn State, and then Notre Dame at Florida State to finish us off. Notre Dame again in your spot, Dom, at Thursday night. Should be fun. I'll let you pick first. Who you got?
Well, again, as the official broadcaster of Notre Dame football, it's where they're supposed to be. That is home. To start at the top, Kentucky, Florida. The fall off of Kentucky over the last couple of seasons is heartbreaking, and the ball has not been their friend this year. It has been a whirlybird of emotions out there. I really want to see them get a win. I'm taking the pick just for out of field. So it's like, come on, get the one to start putting everything in motion. You're showing that you can absolutely do it. Just sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. It's tough like that. A&M West Virginia. I am screwed regardless. As my broadcast partner, Cade, A&M, Frosty, West Virginia. I don't win really either way how I pick this. However, from what I've heard in behind the scenes sim talks of how things have been going, I'm going to take A&M, and I'm going to be calling Gunnar Rice for 2 turnovers in this game specifically. I think A&M is going to get it done on the road, and I'll pay the consequences for that later, Frosty. Love you. Promise. Swear I do.
Well, now you don't have to worry about me banning you. He's going to ban you.
Yeah, well, 07 boys. Michigan, Penn State. I really don't have... these are 2 teams somehow that in the 2 years of broadcasting I've not called at all. So I do not really have enough knowledge here on either team to make any type of just... I know what I'm talking about. Just off of value, I'm going to take Michigan. Michigan really had a great performance last week, and I really think that they can keep that going and really get it. So I'm going to take Michigan, just heads up what I know. And Notre Dame, Florida State. I'm going to catch flack as this with Notre Dame, but it's been for all purposes kind of belt for Notre Dame this year. Their solo win costed me a Four Loko chug at my expense because I was so certain they weren't going to get it together, and it bit me. Florida State's going to be way too venomous after their home loss against Virginia Tech last week. They're absolute. If I were to predict a mercy, I would say Florida State and Notre Dame is going to be a mercy, which goes against what I know with Notre Dame because majority of their games end up near that mercy situation, and anytime that they get towards that mercy, and as Gunn will know as their last performance, once you start getting Notre Dame to that mercy situation, suddenly it clicks and they tighten up and they'll get a touchdown and they'll get some stops or a turnover. They don't let them. I think I've called 2 mercies for them in 2 seasons. I'm calling 3 on Thursday. Florida State is going to manhandle Notre Dame.
Alrighty. I will just say, by the way, we had everybody basically pick a mercy last week, and then Notre Dame, I mean, they didn't get a win, but kept it pretty close for a while against UNC. So I'll go to the UNC AD. Daniel, your picks here to finish us off. Probably help to unmute, by the way.
There we go. I will go with Kentucky over Florida. I think they get the monkey off their back, and they're too talented of a squad. And Eugene, I think, will finally get it figured out. It's the growing curve of a first year AD, much less a first year AD that got thrown in pretty late on into the off season. But I think he's going to get it together this week and get the win. Texas A&M, I think that's going to be I think that could be close to a 2-touchdown game. I think their talent is just going to be too much. Michigan's going to win that, and Florida State's going to win.
All right. Let's see here. I guess, Gene, final guest here for the final day. What do you got?
I'm going to go with my boy Adam and say Florida beats Kentucky close.
Georgia pulling for Florida. This feels forbidden.
No, it pains me so much to say U.S. going to win. Texas A&M West Virginia. I'm gonna have to go with Texas A&M. Cade's got a squad over there, and when they're firing, and I just think he's gonna bring that one home. The Michigan Penn State, I actually am looking forward to this game. Like I want to see who shows up there. TJ's also great people. Ike is great people. I talked to both of them, and I think that is probably going to be your game of the week.
If I may interject real fast, as somebody who has said that they know nothing about this, or for listeners who may not know anything, why is this potentially game of the week?
I mean, you have two teams that are pretty equal to each other. Yeah, you got two. Yep, you got two perfect experience. Like I don't know, you got two exact. I don't want to say exact, but my wording is not very good. So, but you got two of the same thing about to go head to head. You got a freight train and a freight train
like
coming
an
together.
Unstoppable force and an immovable object. Okay, got you. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And then Notre Dame, Florida State is go Noles all day long. I think Florida State's got too much for Notre Dame to handle.
You're calling the game, Dom. You just are self-processed at Notre Dame. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just think that FSU has it, and I agree that Florida State actually has a really talented team. If you look, they really have a really good team, and that may be growing pains for Grin right now, coming on some new players and stuff like that. But like that team, it's gonna start firing here soon. He's got some young talent too, so it's not something that's just this year and done. He's got some people that are going to be there for 4 seasons. So. But
oh boy, let's see here. Look, I think this might be a little bit of an overreaction for our guests. I love Kentucky. I think they are going to win a game this year. I think it's been we've said it all night. Most unlucky team right now in the CFSL, but for now, I think I have to get Florida a win just because of how good they've been. They take down Auburn. I know Auburn is not as the Auburn of the last few seasons, but Florida right now is just such a team on fire. I can't see them losing to Kentucky, though. Now that I said that, maybe they do. A&M West Virginia could be another game of the week. I think I'm going to take A&M here, but I think it will be close. This might be an overtime game. Yeah, if I was going to choose a game of the week, I think the offenses, the two different styles here is really interesting to watch. But Michigan Penn State could be a game of the week as well. And here's something I'll say, Dom. Michigan Penn State, if you give TJ Florida State's roster and Aaron Notre Dame's roster, I still think this could be a game of the week. These two ADs, one's been to a championship, one has been a part of so many great teams. Like, I've had both of them obviously as guests last week too, but I think there's a level of respect and a level of understanding here from these rosters. Even if Penn State's 0-5, this could be a sneaky game of the week candidate too.
So it's essentially a battle of two scheming gurus and setting up for game day.
Yeah, and two different systems too.
Yeah. You got to think. I came from going all the way to the Natty and losing at Hangout. You know what I mean, and then kind of not really, kind of going down a couple of lost team the following season, and then like people were literally that was what they were saying was like, well, Michigan ain't good this year. It's like they've lost twice. What do you mean they're not good? Like they just went to a Natty appearance. Like they're good, and then it's just a slow trickle. I mean, I think it's just something that at any given time, you can't go up against Michigan and just be like, oh, yeah, we're going to win, because that's just not how it's going to work. As soon as you have that mindset against them, Ike's going to run it. He's going to show you what he's made of.
Well, see, now I'm just sad that I'll be calling against the game, so I won't be able to appreciate it while it's
Yeah, you'll see it on replay.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and catch it after hours.
For the record, Michigan for me is my pick on that one. And then I will take Florida State against Notre Dame. Yeah, tough season for Notre Dame here, but I chose them to get mercied last week, basically. And instead, I think Notre Dame makes it maybe not like, a 1-score game, but maybe a 2 or 3-score game. I think they keep it closer than they kept North Carolina. Now, Florida State's also pissed after last week, so maybe I'm about to talk a mercy into existence, but we'll see. And that will do it for the picks. Again, I'll go through them. We choose in the Super Bowl Kansas City to win 3-1. We choose 4-0 for USC, and then a tie in the VT Miami game. Colorado, Oklahoma on Tuesday is also a tie. UNC 4-0 the second 4-0 of the week from the board here over Clemson. Wednesday, we choose a tie in Michigan State and Oregon, and I cry a little bit in my sleep. Auburn 4-0 over Tennessee in what should be a feisty game. Texas over LSU 3-1. Georgia 3-1 over Alabama. Suck it where. Thursday, we're going to go into the with the monotone voice, I get you sometimes, don't I?
I got you where.
Kentucky, Florida tie. That should be a really good game too. Honestly, all 4 games, even the Notre Dame thing, it won't be close. But the 3 of the 4 games I think could be overtime games on Thursday. It's gonna be such a fun night.
You literally just said they would keep it like 1 or 2 possessions, but then you just said it's not gonna be close. Pick a side for that game.
All right, then I'll say it'll be close. There you go. A&M over West Virginia 4-0, Michigan 3-1, and then Florida State 4-0. That will do it. And I think we're almost at an hour and a half here, so I'll end it here. As tradition, I give all of you guys 30 seconds to talk about your teams. I'm going to go in the order of people who annoyed me the least. Get to go first.
Nice. All right.
I'm going last.
No, you're not. No. You tried, but no, the Alabama fans always going to beat you in that department.
I'll
Gene,
try better next time.
I can't believe I'm saying this. You got 30 seconds. You somehow annoyed me the least on this show. I do time it, though, so keep it concise. The floor is yours. You talk about your team. You're just going to talk shit?
Huh?
You got 30 seconds to talk about your team.
No. Oh, my team's fucking amazing. Best team in the whole league, no matter if they lose. There it is. 30 seconds. Go Dogs.
All right. I'll take it. Yeah, gonna choose you, but I'm gonna pick elsewhere. Dom, 30 seconds. Team is scores your list. The floor is yours.
Virginia Tech is back. We are for real. Everybody in the ACC can suck it. Tank, love you. Not your season. Miami, you're not special. You're just next. North Carolina, I'll see you down the road. Come catch the smoke and the fade.
So
Are we playing in Blacksburg?
I think so.
Good.
If Virginia Tech loses by 40, by the way, I am going to clip that. Just letting you know now.
Please.
Oh yeah, hey, let me get it too, so I can make some videos with it.
Send it to Ninja
Please,
to put on top plays.
It'll end up on my Twitch. It'll be a highlight clip.
Yeah, no, we're going to put that on top plays of the week if you lose by 40. Just letting you know now.
First off, that's not going to happen. So, and then also clip that.
Listen, when the game happens, we'll make sure that I'll go back and I'll get the recording, and then we'll get that exact clip too. So it'll be like a whole
it'll be perfect.
TikTok. Yeah. Oh.
Make sure you're in chat though, so you can take some of my wordings from the game as well.
No. We just want the wording you just said versus the opposite outcome.
Hey, you can
just take a picture of the.
And then we'll wait. We'll wait till the tail tucked behind your legs. You know what I mean? Afterwards.
I'll still beat my chest. I might be wounded, but I'll still beat my chest.
All right, Gunn. Finish us off.
I'm allowed to go now?
Yeah, you are. I'm not going to ban you yet.
Not yet. All right. Well, this is the best Tar Heel team that I've had in my 8 years, so we're ready to take on anybody that wants to come. We took our lumps against Miami, but we're moving forward and we're ready to take on anybody.
You guys all kept it under 30, like under 15 seconds. Good job. I will give you that comment. I
heard they like it quick. So,
hey, look, I couldn't have gotten my first playoff win at Auburn without you and sitting on your player's head. So, I'd like to thank you, Gene Pettijohn.
That was state.
So funny. Oh my god, I saw that clip too.
I need that clip.
I posted. Okay, I'll DM it to you. I will. So, I think I'll thank all 3 of my guests here, even the ones that picked against Michigan State. Daniel Gunn, AD of UNC, Gene Pettijohn, AD of Georgia, and Umbrian. I don't give a fuck about how to spell your name, Dominic.
Did you not? Were you not a nerd as a kid?
I was a nerd.
Pokemon.
I was not a Pokemon specific nerd, but I did play Pokemon Black and White and Ruby. Okay, too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forget you're young.
Man, red, blue, and yellow and yellow are the only games.
Hey, Johto is the best region, and I'll go to work because we also get Kanto included.
That's true. I think Emerald was my first. game, if I remember correctly. But
That was my
that's
first
all.
stripper.
Mine was Diamond.
I hope your
What
wife is
do you
watching
think?
this, Gun.
It's
Cole,
12:30.
Cole,
She's
do you remember when the Game Boy Color came out? Or were you a Game Boy Advance person?
No. Oh, I think Game Boy Advance. I think I was a Game Boy Advance guy.
Game
And
Boy
then DS,
Color, where
the
you had to
original
have
DS.
the little light if you wanted to
Yeah.
play in the dark, and
Man, I used that sitting in the backseat of the car on road
Yep.
trips. That thing was a lifever, or like under your blanket so you
Yeah.
could
You know,
sneak it.
you know how much I played Pokemon as a kid, and when I'm going to sleep, if it's dead silent, like where you normally get like a ring in your ear or whatever, I hear the stupid background noise. You know what I mean? Like, I hear it to this day. I play
Yep.
it so much. Like, fell asleep with the Game Boy on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's
As long
going
as
to do
you
it
don't
for
hear
us.
the theme from the Ghost Town, you're good. If you start hearing that, you've got some issues.
That's all right. I'm going to have to end it here. But we'll go to the 3 hours on Pokemon. But it was great to have you guys on the show.
Thanks for having
and
us,
I will-
Cole.
I'll send it over.
Thanks for
I
having us,
think
Cole.
I'll
It
end
was
it
a
later.
pleasure.
I'll
I'll see you in another 2 seasons.
Yeah, something
Don't
like
let
that.
don't let me down, Trips.
All right. Fuck all of you. Except maybe Gene. No, fuck him too. He's a Georgia fan. All right. Have a good night.
See y'all.